Hi, I'm Tynan Shadle with the Texas Cotton Gin Museum here again. We're here in our cotton patch. We're going to get ready to plant. So if you watch the video that preceded this one, what we were talking about is how cotton was planted. Cotton is usually planted in April traditionally and would be harvested starting in July through August. Now that doesn't mean that everyone planted right at the same time, although there were certain farmers in the area that people would pay attention to. If he's planting his cotton, it's probably time for me to start planting mine. But there were some who waited until later as well. So we're here in the first week of May, so we're pretty much right in the right window here. Now, we're going to be demonstrating here with a garden cultivator. This is not a tool that was normally used in a cotton patch. It was a tool that was used in a garden, but we're going to use it in the sense that this is our plow opening up our rows so that we can come along behind and plant. We don't have a team of horses here at the Cotton Gin Museum to pull a light plow for us, and we're only going about 30 yards. So this will kind of mimic that. Ronnie will be coming along behind me and planting seed about every 4 inches as I do this. So this is the process. I am the horse and this is the plow, pushing this through, opening up the soil for Ronnie to come behind. The last video showed the planter. That planter would do that whole process for you, but many people still did the 2-step process. Now, I will mention that in 2020, we have to have a permit to grow cotton. We have an ornamental permit through the Texas Boll Weevil Eradication Project because the boll weevil was a very common pest, mostly eradicated today. But we're trying to keep it that way. So we have to get a permit, and if you want to plant cotton in your backyard, if you're going to plant as much as we are, you probably need a permit to do that. And you'll also need what's called a boll weevil trap. So you can contact your extension agencies to ask about that. So anyway, we are going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to be pushing the garden cultivator through, opening up the row. Ronnie's going to come along behind me and plant. And again, the variety that we're planting is called Lightning Express, and it was common around 1922-23. So, all right, ready?
Yes.
Okay. And we're really only wanting to plant cotton about 3/4 of an inch deep, or your first knuckle on your finger. So I don't want to go terribly too deep with it. And you can see the spacing that Ronnie's using here. Sometimes it's not a bad thing to overseed, simply because not all the seeds might come up. It was pretty common to see anywhere from 15 pounds to up to 40 pounds of seed per acre being planted around this time period. As the cotton was being ginned, the seed, since it's being separated from the lint, the farmers would be able to collect their own seed at the end of the process and then take that home to use again next year.
And we'll come back in a little bit and take a garden hoe and close this. I'm going to get a stick or a rock or something to put at the end of the row so we'll know where to see where the cotton comes up at.
And that's something else that the back of the planter over there are 2 small blades that go on either side of the row, and that's what would actually be coming along behind and covering up the seed. Commonly, those planters would also have a fertilizer canister on them as well, to drop fertilizer into the row to give that cotton a good jump start against weeds and things like that. It's a very slow process planting by hand. People planted more so by hand farther back in the mid to early 19th century. So we're planting a little bit further back than would be common in the 20s, but we're making do with what we have. We have a few pieces of equipment that we would like to restore to potentially use for that process in the future. All right, well, we'll get to finishing up this row. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.